Hi, my name is Jim Mayberry. I'm a pro staffer at MegaStrike Industries, and I'm here and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how to use some of our products and how to dissect water the first time you get there. One of the things that we do as fishermen, we get a misconception of what we see on the water. We see like basically a one-dimensional view of what really happens. I can't see what's happening inside this tank or anything, but I know that there's fish here, just like any given body of water that you go to.
I'm coming to a body of water, and just like you, and you want to go catch fish, you have to figure out, okay, what's your game of attack? What are you going to do? What are you going to plan? How are you going to go about finding these fish first and foremost? Because we can all pretty much catch fish. So the key is finding them. So let's just say we roll up on a lake, your favorite lake, on any given Sunday. And one of the things we're going to want to look for is grass. There's a saying, find the grass, find the bass. How we're going to find them is we'll take what is called a search bait. This bait right here is a spinner bait.
MegaStrike makes this bait right here. This is a
first hinged spinner bait. Okay, and the reason why it's hinged is that when we throw this and a bass latches hold of this thing, he has all this energy coming up to the surface, and he'll get on the tail walk, and he'll try to throw this bait. So what we've done is we've
taken that leverage away from him by putting this hinge on here. I'll show you how this works.
The way we're going to do this is when you go out with a search bait, you want to fan cast out into the lake. You basically want to take the first one and launch it straight in front of your boat. And get out there, and you want to cover the surface part of the water first, around, the first couple feet, and see if you get what is called a reaction bite, because this is basically what it is a reaction bait. You want to keep throwing it out there, and you want to throw from, say, try your 9 o'clock position, then go from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, and basically throw it out in a fan motion. Let me adjust this headset here real quick. Also, like I said, you want to find that grass. Well, this will help you find the grass because it's weighted, and all you have to do is throw it out, and believe me, if you run into grass, if you don't see it right away, you will find it. You try the top portion of the water column, and after you try the top portion of the water column, you might want to bring it down if you're not getting hits. To bring it down, say, let it sink a little bit, slow down your retrieve, give it an erratic action like this, make it like an injured bait fish. Now these fish in this tank right here have seen every lure known to mankind in the last couple of days, and they're pretty lethargic. So sometimes you get a good reaction, sometimes you don't, but this helps you gauge also how active your fish are in any given body of water. Let's say we throw out there, we're not getting them up close, and we're not getting them near the surface, and we're not getting them near in the mid depths. So we're going to do what they call slow rolling. Slow rolling is you're taking your bait, you're letting it drop down to the bottom, and you're barely just letting that blade tick by. And sometimes they want that kind of approach with a spinner bait. So I'm going to just let it fall all the way down to the bottom, and just slowly roll it like this, and see if I can get one to bite like that. And you want to make contact with anything, any kind of given piece of structure, or cover rather. And that's one thing let's discuss right now. What is structure? What is cover? Okay? Structure is the makeup of the body of water, or the land of the body of water that you're fishing. Say you have these drop-offs, you have these rock pile edges, and that's the makeup, the body of, that makes up the body of water. That's your structure. What is cover? Cover could be anything from weeds, it could be stumps, it could be a rock pile, it could, and that's what fish are relating to on the cover when we're talking about cover. It could be a lay down log. And so when we're fishing, sometimes we're looking for those visual things, like what is the cover? We know that we see a laid down log in the water, we want to be able to throw something like this to see if we can get a reaction. Here's another bait I want to show you. We also sell here at MegaStrike. This is the Mega Shad. The Mega Shad, Bob, you want to show them the Mega Shad right here? The Mega Shad is a swim bait. We put it on a Shaky head, and it works a lot like the spinner bait, and a lot of times what we'll do is we'll throw it in the same places that we throw a spinnerbait. And look what I caught. So, okay, so I'm going to show you what this looks like in the water because it imitates a bait fish very, very well. It gets that back paddle of this bait kicking back and forth just like a fish, and it sends a vibration in the water. And what that does is bass have a lateral line, and we're still trying to figure out everything that there is to know about a lateral line, but they feel the vibration, and then after they feel the vibration, a lot of times the bass are visual predators. So when they see it, they'll know where to attack it. They find it with their lateral line. Sometimes they see it and they eat it. So just like the spinnerbait, you want to try the upper water column. See how that action is? I can't see it, but I'm sure you do. See that tail going back and forth? Totally different than what you see the spinnerbait doing. All right, yeah, because they're really not eating too well. Let me see. I got this stuff. I felt that. This is MegaStrike. This is our lead-in product right here. MegaStrike is an attractant, okay? And this attractant is made with amino acids, 9 years in the making. This guy who's holding this tube right now, that's your cue, Bobby, is the owner and inventor of this stuff. I'm going to smear it, just take a little bit, smear it onto the bait. Okay, it won't stain your clothes or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's water soluble. In order for an attractant to work, it has to be water soluble. So I'm going to throw this back out there. And you see that they weren't too readily to eat anything. So I'm going to let this drop down a little bit. And when they get it, you may notice how long they'll hang on to something now, because they recognize it as food. This is my pet bass now. They recognize it as food. And sometimes they'll even fight for it, okay? Get out of there. I'm not trying to hook any of these fish, and here you go.
Just gonna take a little dab, quarter of the size of the bait, over down any bait, and go real good. Those bass are sucking right off of there.
Remember what I said about, as fishermen, we get that one-dimensional view, and there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and there's a lot of myths, but this is where the rubber meets the road. No pun intended. What we're talking about here is throwing a lure out there, basically throwing out. You see that they weren't that aggressive towards other things that other thing that I was throwing, that spinnerbait. But now we're throwing a soft plastic out there and just working it the same way. But the difference is putting an attractant on there, like ours, that they recognize as food and they want to actually eat it. We have film of we do this thing. When we were experimenting in the beginning years of this, of using this stuff, we actually put it on a pebble, and we'd throw the pebble in one of these tanks, and we'd get like 3 or 4 bass around this pebble, and they would actually, we got film of it, they would converge on this pebble and actually pick up this rock and ingest it. It's an amazing product. So this is another search bait, okay, when you get around the weeds or other kind of structure and you're looking for them. Now let's just say now I've been fishing for a while and I figured out, okay, I got a feeling that there's fish down here because of my search bait, and now I want to pick out those bass because I don't want to just catch 1 or 2. I want to catch every fish in the place. So what I want to do sometimes, it gets tough because these fish have seen so many different types of lures. They've seen so much out there. There's a bazillion fishermen out there, and I'll come from New Jersey. So I was telling Jay down here, I said, we got 4 fish in New Jersey, we got to share them. So, because they've seen everything, believe me. He told me also a pretty good story. He said he's from Ohio. He said he ran into a school of fish and he caught both of them. So, this is what they call a shaky head. Okay, the shaky head was developed in Japan. Let me show you the technique first. This is the shaky head technique. It was dropped down to find suspended fish and just shaken in front of them, and they would just come up and grab it and eat it. You set the hook and you have your fish. Hopefully he'll let go of that. There you go. Now, but when it came to America, what we did was we basically taken the shaky head. It's a ball head jig. We sliced it in half, put a 90-degree angle hook on it, threw it out there, and we use it the same way we would a Texas rig. We basically throw it out there, reel it back in towards the boat, you know, hop it and skip it, and it works, okay? But at MegaStrike, Bobby invented this shaky head in such a different way. This one acts like no other shaky head out there and is by far the best shaky head on the market. The reason why is there's a fulcrum on the bottom. And what's a fulcrum? It's nothing more than a pivot point, okay? So what happens is, if you can get your bait to stand up, it attracts that much more attention and that much more fish, and they look at it, if this was a crawfish or anything else, it puts it in what they call a defensive posture. Like the claws are up, like on a blue claw crab or on a crawfish or any worm, or an eel trying to bury itself into the sand. So let me show you what makes this one different. And there's MegaStrike on here, so if they hang on to it for a while, I'm going to let it hit the bottom, if they allow it to hit the bottom. Let's see if I can get them to drop it. It's really easy for me. I drop a lot of fish. Okay, well, he's recognizing this. He's eating the MegaStrike. And one good thing about this is that when you have MegaStrike on a lure, okay, like this, look, you know, we get up early for these tournaments and to go fishing, and sometimes we're not the quickest people on the planet. So it lets you get that time out there where you go, hey, you know what? I'm gonna sit there and I think that's a fish. I'm not sure. It gives you that time to go, hey, I think I got a bite here. So that's what MegaStrike does. It gives you that little bit of extra time. It's not like an attractant, like you throw it out in the water like it's a bloody seal out there and some shark's gonna find it because it tastes 1 part per bazillion, and you know, it doesn't work that way. It's basically, you know where that you have fish there and you want them to hang on to your bait, like this guy right here. So, but what I really wanted to show you is how this looks in the water if I can get them to stop eating it. See how it's, I don't know, I can't see it, but it's, they're eating it too good. Okay, I see this rock down here, but I see there's a lot of fish down here. I could see these guys right here, so, okay, see it, is it on their bottom? All right, they're eating too good right now. All right, maybe, is there, Bobby, show me, I can't see them, so where's there a place where there are no fish? I really want you to see the posture of this bait, all the way at the end. Anywhere near there? See it standing up? And all you have to do is you can just sit there and shake it like this, just to give it a little bit of motion. You don't even really have to shake it too much because the currents from the water will actually make that thing come alive. And it's like this. Okay, so these fish, as you can see, and another thing about the MegaStrike, it stays on your bait so long. See, they're still recognizing this as food, and they just want to eat it. It's those amino acids. Amino acids, basically, we all learned through high school that amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And it works with the bass's chemoreceptors, where their taste buds, they have this thing, the chemoreceptors, they're like the cilia, these hair-like follicles that send messages to their brain and tells them that this is food, so eat it. Is there another bait down there, Bob? Any other? Okay, I'm going to throw this one more time and maybe get them not to eat it, and we can see the posture one more time. This shaky head is so revolutionary. When we first came out with this, we were doing a show in California, and it was really kind of neat. I mean, you go to California, you see all these gang members, they're all inked up and tatted up, and they're a kind of intimidating crew, you know. And they were like, oh no, we're fishermen, man, we love to go fishing. And they seen these things because shaky head fishing is so popular in California. They wanted this so bad. We had shipped to us 6,000 of these in a box Wait a minute. Let go of that, buddy. We had 6,000 of these things, and they were in a box, and we couldn't get rid of them quick enough. It was, I mean, it was incredible. They had 6,000 of them in 3 days, selling for $1 a piece, and I don't think they lasted, what, 2 days? We got rid of them that quick because this head is just that good. Okay, I'm going to show you another technique. And this is called the drop shot. The drop shot is, well, you can thank your saltwater guys for inventing this. It's basically what they call the top and bottom rig. There's a weight on the bottom, and then you have a bait suspended. Show them, Bobby, go ahead if you can see it from there. You have a bait suspended, doesn't matter what it is, it's whatever bait you feel confident in. There just happens to be a MegaStrike Mega Stick on there. And you suspend this bait maybe anywhere from 3 inches to 18 inches above the weight. Okay, and that's when I said, like, you already know you're in an area and you got fish, you got a captive audience right here, and you want to present something that's not on the bottom. Okay, that's going to be directly in front of their faces. So all they have to do is basically yawn and you'll get them. So let me show you what this looks like.
You can use any type of bait on there. I mean, you can use worms, you can use stick bait, you can use a little bit of what you do is you can see these bass. They're object oriented, they're down towards the bottom. So the jig drops this bait in the water. So let the bait hit the bottom, let the weight hit the bottom, and that bait is going to shake right in front of those fish's faces. And what's going to happen? He's going to sit there, he's going to provoke those fish into strike.
And I got another pet fish. Yeah, like I say, we put it on a rock and they can eat the rock. We got another story. We do these shows and you see these guys, you know, I almost got thrown out one of these shows. Actually, I shouldn't be telling you this, but we were, you know, the trout pond, and we call what is affectionately known as the booger bait. And we would take the MegaStrike and we'd give it to a kid on his finger and say, here, put this on the corn. And yeah, we got caught doing that. And but it was fun because we were catching, the kid was catching all the trout. So, but we fessed up and we told him that what we were doing. And so, but as you can tell, this is just another technique, okay, using one of our products, using the MegaStrike, okay, and I think I got this guy. I'm gonna have to, oh, he let go, okay. And he ate it. And it's a good thing we own the company, so that way we have more baits. Like I said, you know, when you're coming to a body of water, now you know these are a few techniques. These are some of our products that we use on the water and try to make the most out of our day. I'm going to throw back out there a few more times. I just want to tell you that, like again, I said we are MegaStrike. We're at booth number 315, 316. It's a double booth right over in that next section past these boats. Come and see us. You have any questions or anything, feel free to come up and ask any questions. You got anything to do with the color of lures, the size of lures, the type of hooks to use, anything we can help you out with. Just come out and check us out and make friends with these fish here. So, yeah, this guy doesn't want to let go. Okay. There you go. Okay, once again, MegaStrike. My name is Jim Mayberry, pro staffer for MegaStrike. Thanks for your time, really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show. This is Bobby Urig here. He is the owner and president of MegaStrike. Like I said, come on over to the booth, talk to us. And like I said, we're just here to educate and teach people. Two at once, huh? It's really kind of neat being able to see this, you know, that this is what we don't see as fishermen and anglers, that we just don't see how fish react to stuff like this. So, but here it is, you know, this is not some crazy infomercial that we've, actually these are highly trained bass. We pay them a lot of money. They're SAG members. And, Now you see it for your very own eyes. I mean, you see that, you know, if you've seen any of the other shows here in the last day, you've seen that these fish can be active, but a lot of times they're lethargic. And how do we get them to eat? And this is how we do it as anglers. Just this way. You could apply this anywhere, to any body of water, any place that has fish. This is what you can do. You too can catch them just as easy as this. It's so it doesn't matter if you're some high-paying pro and you got some $60,000 bass boat, or if you got a $10 rod and reel. It doesn't matter. And the whole object is just to catch fish and have fun.